Hey guys, it's that gaming here. Today we're going to do a tier list regarding all the different zones in World of Warcraft. This was given to me by a friend called the Reverend Bear. So if you guys do enjoy this content, if you guys do enjoy these tier lists, or if you guys do disagree with that and would like to let me know, please let me know in the comments. And apart from that, guys, we'll get straight on into it. Okay, let's get into this then. Okay, so, looking at all the different things we're going to take into account, I'm going to look at both Cataclysm and pre-Cataclysm if it affects it. I'm going to look at storylines. I'm going to look at atmosphere. And we're going to go from there. So we'll basically just start. 1,000 Needles, it's fucking amazing. Both Cataclysm as well. Like, Cataclysm really did ruin it, but, like, I don't think it ruined it entirely. Like, 1,000 Needles was one of them zones in which, especially as a hard player, you walk into like this great big expanse. You see all these mountains, and you got the centaurs, and then you've got shimmering flats. There's so many quests there. The Grim Tower, where you've got to scale up them, and you've got to go across the bridges and jump from each pillar. It's just such a good zone, and even in Cataclysm, where it got flooded, it's still a good zone. Like, the quest lines are still pretty decent. I really do rate 1,000 Needles in my opinion. I don't really have much else to say about that. Like, just the atmosphere is amazing in there. Like, in both Classic and in Cataclysm. Ultra Mountain, awful. Absolutely awful. There's barely any quests. It's probably one of, like, for the terms of lore, it was like quite a big pinpoint in the Horde's first invasion, and it's just ruined. Like, there's barely anything going on in the Ottoman Mountains. There really is. There's barely anything. The zone's lackluster of content. Um, I can't really help. I can't really describe any more other than the fact that it's just really lackluster. And Torvin Waste, awful. Like, I loved the Legion expansion so much. It was such a great expansion. And Blizzard have this thing in which they basically, you know, they release all these books and these comics, and they've got such amazing, like, it's like, you got a broad demographic of, like, Argus, which is an entire planet, and your experience of Argus is one tiny ass zone. It just does not do it justice at all. It really doesn't. Um, Arathia Highlands. Hmm. I'll put it decent, and you know, you've obviously got to keep a strong guard that's completely ruined, and you've got to fight for it in both Classic and Cataclysm. The reason why it's a decent though is there was a chance of a necklace to drop from certain mobs, and that would give you a quest where you've got to help like this Titan spirit or something, or like this what are they called now? Like a watcher, I think it's called, like a female watcher, and she's actually evil, and you set her free, and you've got to like go back and like fucking re-imprison her. Like, you get this necklace and you think, oh my god, this person's good, and she like leaves the necklace. The spirit leaves the necklace, and she's like, "You freed me, you fools, thank you." And then like, oh shit, we need to go change this. I do like the Arathia Highlands, so it's a really really nice zone. Um, it's just very lackluster requests. I think it's one of the places that have the shortest amount of quests, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's only like 19 quests for the Horde. There's so little quests. Ashen Vale, fucking amazing. I love Ashen Vale to pieces. Both Horde and Alliance, both Cataclysm and pre-Cataclysm. Just the atmosphere of it is amazing. The storyline's amazing. Even the music is amazing. Like, it's just so fucking good. Like, I just can't, like, playing Warcraft 3, and you look at the scale of Warcraft 3, and then you go to other Warcraft, obviously, they did such a good job with Ashen Vale. Ashran, it's going to awful, I'm sorry. There's very few, I can't, I love the concept of a full zone that's PvP like Winter Grasp and Tol Barad, but Ashran was just too much. Like Ashran, like when Ashran was released, everyone fucking hated it, and I still hate it. You know, it's just ridiculous. It's such an awful place. It really is. The only good part about this is the fact you get to go kill an ogre, and he fights for you if you win. That's pretty much it. Azuna, amazing, absolutely amazing. Love Azuna to absolute pieces. Um, just the quest line. Oh god, what's his name now? Oh, I forgot the guy's name. That's really annoying me. Now I'm gonna remember it later on in the video. Can guarantee you that. But there's a quest line in which you basically capture or you spare an enemy, and basically it kind of like it turns fully corrupted as like this elf. It turns like a fully corrupted elf, and by the end, he's there like, "Are you there, my friend? I can't see you. I think I'm gonna have to go now," and it basically just dies or like gets like turned and right in front of your eyes, and you're just like so sad. They did such a good place with the Zona, the Watcher area, you know, the Blue Dragons. It is a really good zone. Love Azuna. Okay, Ajara. Ajara's good. It's not bad and it's not awful. Classic was, and it was. There wasn't much to do in Classic, but the Cataclysm side with the revamp really did make it better. You know, with the Goblin Raceway, the entire Goblin Islands, it did a lot of justice for it, did Cataclysm. So, you know, if it was just a classic, it'd be down here at awful, but the Cataclysm has boosted it all the way up, which is great. As you miss Isles, I think this is one of the worst starting zones. I'm not going to put a starting zone below bad. It is one of the worst ones, I think, in my opinion. I just don't. If I play a Jedi, I always just leave as a missile and go over to Stormwind instead because it's just bad. It's not a great zone. Like the atmosphere is great, but it's just you don't feel like I don't know, like all the other zones like have some form of urgency towards their quests. But as you miss Isle just misses that mark completely. Like the zone itself is beautiful, the aesthetics are beautiful, but it's just you just don't feel it just doesn't feel right, in my opinion. I don't know how to describe it other than that, but that's where we're going. Badlands. Okay, Badlands is an interesting one. Again, it suffers the same thing as the Jara, which is the classic version was shockingly bad, but the Cataclysm was such a great expansion for Badlands. It really was the revamp of the zone. Listening to the three, I think it was like a dwarf, an elf, and a gnome. I think it was or something, or an orc. I think no, it was a orc, a gnome, and a dwarf. And you basically get to relive like the day the cataclysm happened, and on one of them, you just go punch Deathwing, and it's so such a funny quest line. It really is. It's one of the best quest lines in the game. I do love Badlands. It is the Cataclysm really did do it well. Plus, it also houses Alderman, which is one of my all-time favorite dungeons of Classic. So I'll give it some decent rapport. Um, Blade Mountain. It's decent. No, it's good. No, it's decent. No, it's good. Where are we putting this? Interesting. Okay, it's decent. Now, the questing is shocking in there. I don't really like the quests in Blaze Edge Mountain. I don't really ever tend to level here. The only reason why it's a decent is just the atmosphere. You know, you've got all these spikes, as you can see, all these spikes like coming out of the mountains. You've got dragons that are impaled on it. It is probably one of the better ones. Um, I just realised my camera's in the way. Oops. Can we move this down? Yeah, where we're gonna put you? We're gonna put you over here. You go over here. Yeah, like the atmosphere of the place does it so much justice, but the quest line doesn't reflect it. Blasted Lands. The Blasted Lands. It's not a great zone, I'm not gonna lie. The only good thing about it is that Paul. The questing, again, not really great. I know there's like a dreadlord or something hidden there or something, and you've got to go do like a multi-part where you've got to like leave and then come back and then try and kill this dreadlord or something. But I don't know, it doesn't feel like a good zone. It's very lackluster in quests. You don't feel like I don't know, I think the Bell is the only reason why it's not bad is because of the portal. Like, the Dark Portal. It is the only place that stops it from being an awful, in my opinion. I don't really like Blasted Lands. Blood Missiles. It's a starting zone, but again, it suffers the same issue as you missed. There's not the quests are just lackluster. They really are. There doesn't seem to be a real threat. You don't really seem to be doing much to help anyone, really. It just no. Okay, Boreal Tundra. Now this has something that the others haven't so far, which is going to go into decent. Now a lot of people might question why. For the hard, it's an awful. Like if you play hard, Boreal Tundra is an awful, 100%. It is such a shit zone. It really is. It's like your first stopping point when you come into Wrath of the Lich King, and it is genuinely boring. As hard. As Alliance, the questing is phenomenal because you find out that there's a cult in your base. You find out the fact that people have gone missing. You find out the fact that, the Lich King's controlling people and they're stealing people, and you got to set out to rescue them. And then you find out the fact that somebody else's brother in the process, and you've got to all fight with each other. And as Alliance, it's a great questing experience. As hard, it's shocking. This does house my all-time favourite dungeon of the Lich King. Apart from that, though, yeah, I can't have much else to say about Boreal Tundra. Broken Shore. Ooh. No, we'll go up one. Good, great. The Broken Shore was basically when we first went into Legion. We realised we couldn't win. We then left and came back when we were stronger. And I love that narrative. Having to basically be forced to leave a place because you're not strong enough, and then being told you can go back now because you have the power, is great. I don't really see. The Mage Tower was good. Mage Tower was really fucking good. Obviously, it's where Varian died. It's where Anduin reconnects, and you go there and you just see the big looming citadel in the distance with the green beam, and you obviously need to get all the pillars of creation in order to shut it off. And it's a really good area because you can see where your goal is, and you can see it always loom. It's always in the background of your questing experience. Of that's where you're gonna go soon. Get ready. And the Legion was such a good expansion, it really was. And unfortunately, Argus was the complete down point of Legion. But everything prior to that was fucking amazing. Burning Steps. It's just a bad zone. There just isn't. Again, the question experience, there isn't much to do. If I remember correctly, you don't really feel like, you're dealing with the remnants of the last horde, of the first horde invasion, and you just don't feel like there's that sense of urgency in me. Like, I don't feel it anyway. I don't know about you guys. Um, the only good point I've got probably about Burning Steps is the Marshall Windsor quest line. Obviously, it does take place a little bit in here, but it's again, it's just not. It's not a good area. It really isn't a good area. Crystal Song Forest. I don't even think there was any quests in Wrath of the Lich King in this area, or if there was so little it wasn't worth making an achievement of. And it is stunningly beautiful. I'm gonna put it at decent because it is a beautiful, beautiful zone. Like, you've got all these like ley lines, and they've all open. Like, you can see all the ley lines open, and obviously it's affected nature, and all the nature's basically been twisted with magic. You know, aesthetically it is so fucking nice, but there's just literally no quests to warrant you to go there except Dalaran, which is your city and which is floating up in the sky, and you don't even get to see anything. So, Darkshore. Now this is one of the only places I have not leveled in Classic. I've only ever leveled in Retail. I can't really say 100% how great this zone is. But I'm going to put it at good, because for the Cataclysm side especially, like, it's just a lot. It's really nice. It's a really nice zone. Like, obviously it leads into Ashen Vale, so obviously it's all like Night Elf themed. You've got the remnants of ghosts of like an ancient lost city. Obviously you got the big swirly tornado, and then you got the big whirlpool at the bottom. Where you find that demon hunter. It's a really, really good zone. I do like it. Deadwind Pass. Deadwind Pass is fucking great, and I will not have a bad word about it. Right, because although yes, there is no fucking quest in Deadwind Pass, if you are, let's say, level 22, 23, you're in that Duskwood, and you don't know where to go next, you don't know you need to go down, and you go across into Deadwind Pass, the first thing you meet is a question mark skull spider, because you can't see its level because it's too high. It's like level 50, dangling from an archway, and it is the creepiest fucking thing ever, and it is fucking amazing. Like, the way Deadwind Pass is set out is just so eerie. It is fucking amazing, and I love Deadwind Pass. Absolutely love it. Not a word against it. Not a word against it at all. Not even sorry. Deep Home. Nah. No. Yeah, no. No. Although, no, it stays there. So, again, like, I don't know. No, I'm gonna put it up one. Okay, Depot. The only reason why I've not put it out awful is because aesthetically it's a nice place. You're under the world, you're under the maelstrom, and you got like this huge cavernous area. It's like the plane of the earth elemental Therazane. But the quests are just so, you just don't feel like so this is the thing that was the issue with a lot of things. Like, there's like an immediate response to like all these different things that are happening in World of Warcraft. So in Deep Home it was a cataclysm, the dragon's broken out of the world, we need to restore balance. I didn't feel like anything good, that we did anything good in Deep Home to warrant us even being there in the first place. Like, there was the Twilight Cult, which we stopped, and then it was just more of a civil war between dragon. Well, it was more like between dragons and the earth elementals, and I don't know. It just seemed a bit. It was just weird for the story. I think, in my opinion, it just didn't match up. Like they could have taken the story in so many different places, which would have mattered, and they just didn't. Desolus. Hmm. Decent. I think it's decent. It is what the name suggests. It is a desolate area. There's no life. It's all, well, I mean, there is now in Cataclysm, but there's no life. It's. Hmm. Yeah, it's. I don't know. Like, you walk into Desolate, and obviously, like, you come from Stone Tower Mountain, which, is very orange, and you come into Desolate, which is just grey. And you just feel like, what the fuck's happened to you? Like you've gone from like, you've gone. Let's say if you're a Tauren, you've gone from Mulgo, which is a glacier area, into the Barrens, which is barren, then into Stone Tower Mountain or Ashen Vale, which is green again, then into Stone Tower Mountain, and then you go to Desolate, and it's an entirely different color palette that you're not used to seeing. It's literally a dead place, but it's not. It's not 100% dead, obviously, but it's like there's just graves everywhere. There's corpses everywhere, and yeah, you've got to try and figure out why and what's happened. And obviously, like Mirrodin's based here, and it is a really nice place, just to kill a few hours. Really, I don't really. You got the two centaurs that are at war with each other. You get to pick a side. So yeah, I mean, I think it's an alright place. It's decent. Dragonblight. Dragonblight's good. The reason why is because they've taken out the Battle for Undercity quest. Now, in Wrath of the Lich King, in Dragonblight, basically the Forsaken kind of like go rogue a little bit, and they decide, oh, I know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna nuke the fuck out of everybody. It doesn't matter if they're friendly. It doesn't matter if they're allies. We're just gonna nuke the fuck out of everybody because we hate the Lich King. And then this like sparks an entire war in which you get to fight for the Undercity, because obviously you've got like a rogue scientific division of the Forsaken, and it's such a good scenario, and you can't do it anymore. I mean, you can if you play a classic, but you can't do it in retail anymore because they're like, oh well, it doesn't fit with the current story. And I'm like, you literally have a dragon stood outside Undercity to teleport people from the past to the future, and you can't go that far back into the past. Like, and it is literally one of the best questing experiences ever. And you just can't do it anymore, and it's so annoying. It really is. And obviously you get the cave where Frostmourne is. You've got Alexstrasza, the Wormest Temple. You've got Naxxramas. You've got Obsidian Sanctuary. I'm saying all this. I'm going to move it up to Grey. It's not amazing because it's missing that quest line. And that's where it's staying. Like, Dragonblight is such a great zone. It was so close to being amazing. If I could still do the Battle for Undercity quest line, it'd go into amazing. 100%. And I'd level up in it every single time. Dread Waste. Hmm. Um. No, it's gonna go into good. It's a good zone because you can see the effects that the Shah has on other denizens in Pandaria. You've got the Mantid. You get to see how the Shah's affected the area. You've obviously got the Heart of Fear raid at the end. You obviously dig up the Mantid and the Paragons, and you help them out over an extensive quest chain. you know, you actually feel like you're making progression in this one area. Like every single paragon you will unearth is, you know, it helps you out, and you really do feel like you do get this sense of progression in this area. Like Mr. Pandaria did it right across the board. I think there's only one area that I would actually rate down a bit lower. But apart from that, yeah. Um, Josvar, I hate Josvar so much. It's such a shocking zone. It really is. It is probably. I don't like any of the Battle for Azeroth zones. They don't feel important. Like you just don't even know why you're there half the time. Like you're trying to help, obviously. If you're Alliance trying to help the Cultivans out, if you're the Hodge trying to invade the other island, but there just doesn't feel like a sense of urgency. There really doesn't. Like it just feels shocking. It really does. And even the atmosphere of the zone, it's not great. It really is. Like you don't like it's meant to be like this creepy eerie woods area, and it just doesn't hit the mark at all. It's shocking. And it's just yeah, it's just really shocking. Like I just can't describe how shocking it is. Like they missed the mark with Josvar totally, in my opinion. Dunmer though, good. It is a beautiful area, and you see Ironforge in the distance one way and Nomagon in the other. You know, but apart from that, that's all that it's got. You know, you've got the two cities, and apart from that, it's pretty lackluster in my opinion. In stuff to do as like you know a start as a starting zone goes, it is pretty lackluster with the quests. The atmosphere is fucking amazing though. You get to see obviously the dwarves that have dug into a mountain. It does give very Lord of the Rings vibes. Um, Obviously in the first cinematic, in the first ever World of Warcraft cinematic, where you see the dwarf on the snowy hills, you know they have captured that beautifully. It does give you very minds of Marvia, Erebor feel to it from Lord of the Rings. It is a really good zone. Um, but yeah, the quest experience holds it back quite a fair bit because it just doesn't feel like urgency, if that makes sense. And yeah, like it's alright having a really good zone with loads of like aesthetically pleasing things, but the storyline has to match, in my opinion. If the storyline doesn't match, then it does go down, and vice versa. If you've got a great storyline but the atmosphere is shit, it's vice versa. There's very few spots in which you know the questing experience matches that of the atmosphere. Durotar is going to the same place, you know. It is a good starting zone. It really is. But again, the quests are so fucking lackluster. Like, you just don't feel like if I if I as let's say the champion as Vazaroth or like a new starting hero, and it's like okay we've got centaurs, can you go deal with them, and you get one quest and that's it, and you've dealt with them, it just doesn't feel rewarding. If that makes sense. Same with like in Durotar, like the Cultivans, you've got these human settlement, you need to go stop them. Okay, I've got one quest. Right, I've stopped them. Right, go kill the kill the Quillbars. All right, fine, one quest, killed them. Let's go again. There's not really, yeah, there just isn't much in terms of. It is a great start, but it isn't. It's not brilliant. Duskwood is amazing. Straight away, the atmosphere is creepy. You know, it's such a good zone because even the quest, like you know, you're dealing with a warg and you're dealing with a forsaken. You're just dealing with the undead. They're not even forsaken. They're just undead. You know, you've got the Amber Chrome big quest line. You've got the Legend of Stalvan quest line. You know, it is a really good zone. You do feel like you make progression and you help out the denizens of Duskwood admittedly, you help out the wrong person, and obviously then you have to deal with an abomination called Stitches. Um, but it's a really, really, really good, creepy area, and it goes to show just because you help someone doesn't mean it's for the better. Like the Abercrombie quest line, basically you meet this old man and he's basically like, "Oh, can you get me all these reagents? I'm old and I can't do anything." And you think you're doing no harm, but actually you're helping him get revenge on the denizens of Duskwood. And you just don't even realise till it's too late that you've sent out an abomination to go attack the city at the town. Dustwallow Marsh. Now, mm, it is a great zone. It is a great zone because leveling in Dustwallow Marsh, there's so many rare elites and there's so many quests. It's great. Like, just that alone is just great. You've obviously got Anixia who resides there, and obviously there's got like an entire area that's dedicated to like dragons, and they've basically wiped out like an ogre encampment, and you've got to like help the ogres, bring peace to their spirits. And then you've got to go figure out what dragons they are and why they're there, and then you realise that's Anixia, and then you've got the Anixia attunement quest, and then you've got to deal with Anixia herself, and it's such a good feel to anything to do with MMOs. Like, it is, if I was to picture, you know, where a dragon would reside, you'd think naturally just a cave, and it hits the mark straight away. Like, it's all swamplands, and then all of a sudden you've just got this massive torched area in which a dragon's there. You can tell a dragon's gonna be there, and it's such a good zone. Elwyn Forest is great as well. Like, it is very aesthetically pleasing. Um, there's loads of like little rares. You're not. It's one of them where like if you take, oh fuck, I forgot what the mine is called. Not the one with gold tooth. It's the other one. I forgot. Fangon mine is it or something like that? I don't remember. Um, but there's a question which you only have to go halfway through the mine, and then you can just backtrack and leave. If you go to the end, chances are there's a rare elite there, and it's like a reward for exploring further. Yeah, and there's a lot of little different hints that they do alongside that, in which like in Elwyn Forest there's like I think it's like 13 rare elites or something in Elwyn Forest by my count, and basically the more you explore, the higher chance you're gonna find one, and it's one of them areas that you actually get rewarded for exploring, to the point where it's actually really really decent. Like, the quests, I wouldn't say aren't lackluster. You do have the sense of urgency of champion. Oh my god, please help us. We've got Murlocs attacking. We've got kobolds attacking. We've got the gnolls attacking. You get the very prominent threat straight away of the majority of the races, the majority of the threatening denizens. Hogger as well. It is such a good, like, loading up as a human for the first time ever and doing Elwyn Forest. You do feel a lot of straight up. It's one of them. It is one of them zones that you have to experience for yourself. Eastern Plaguelands. Ooh, wait, which one's Eastern? Never. So that's one with Stratholme. Straight away, amazing, absolutely amazing. Especially in Classic where you've got Naxxramas serve as well. In Lich King, obviously you've got Icarus. Um, it is one of them zones in which you feel like, sorry, you do feel like you are making progression. With the Lights Hope Chapel and the Argent Dawn. And obviously then you would then experience Stratholme, which if you played Warcraft 3, is the place where Arthur decided to call the entire city. It is such a great expansion. Expansion, such a great zone. They really did do it justice. Um, Eversong Woods. Hmm. I'm not going to put it at great, and there is a specific reason as to why. Because it is a great, great introductionary for any new character at Eversong Woods. You know, you find out that your people are mana addicted. You find out the fact that, like, the Scourge destroyed your homeland and you've got to defend from it. You know, you've got to. Oh god, what all the different quests are. Like, you've got the fact that if you don't get your magic, you turn into like a withered person, even though you never do. But a wretched, I think it's called. And it's you can tell that there is a massive sense of urgency when you're playing there. And the reason why it's great is because when it rolls into the next zone's just fucking amazing. Because this is like it's kind of like the prelude to an amazing. So it's kind of like this is Infinity War and the next zone's Endgame, and that is how it plays out. Right, you've got a story expanding over two zones, and you feel like you're making progression. You really do. Felwood. I don't care what anyone says. Felwood is one of the best zones. It is one of the best zones, and the Cataclysm hits hard. Like the Cataclysm area really does hits the hammer on the nail on the hammer on the nail, whatever the metaphor is. You know, you've got the Timbermar, you've got the Satyrs, you've got all this corruption, you've got all these pools of like demon blood everywhere. You're trying to restore life to the area, and then you find out you like in the Cataclysm. There's a quest line where you get sent to go kill a demon hunter, and the demon hunters are like, "Oh, so you're just not gonna listen to me? You're not gonna wonder why I'm doing all this?" And you actually realize the demon hunter's right by the end, and you actually have to go kill your own quest giver because he's the one that's evil. And it's such a good twist, it really is. And I'm sorry that I have ruined that twist. If you guys haven't played in Farwood, I do recommend it because you also get to experience like stuff that happened in Warcraft 3. Like you get to experience Illidan pick up the skull of Gul'dan and kill Tichondrius. You get to witness Arthas versus Illidan. It is such a good sound. I don't like Ferolas. I really don't like Ferolas. I just don't know why. Like, there's a lot of stuff to do there. Obviously, you've got like the green dragons. You've got Diamol, but I just don't like the area. It's just awful. I just don't know why. It's aesthetically pleasing. Like it's so nice because you've got this random ass jungle after Desolus. You just face it. Like you've got Thousand Needles one way, which is barren. You've got um Desolus to the other side, which is barren. Then you've got Silithus, which is just sand. And then you've got Feverlas, which is this random ass jungle in the middle of nowhere. And it just doesn't. It just feels out of place. It is nice to look at, but that's literally it. Frostfire Ridge, awful, absolutely awful. Like again, it just doesn't feel like. I mean, the reason why I'm saying it's awful, I have never quested as hard during when this was current content. So for me as an alliance, you never got to visit here. In fact, no, I think I did do it on one hard character, if I'm not mistaken. I might have done. I don't really remember that long ago. But even if I did, it hasn't been that memorable. Like, I know how the quest line goes. I know the fact that you meet with Thrall's dad and you got to go help kill his brother or something. You've got all these ogres about, but it just doesn't feel normal. It really doesn't. Like, I don't know. I just don't like Frostfire Ridge. I don't like even aesthetically. It's just no. There's just like a lot of patches for no reason. Like if you fly across, you just like all of a sudden you met with like this massive snowy area, nothing's going on. So then you move on a little bit further, you get like maybe the odd one or two camps, and then you've got more snow with nothing in it, and it just feels very like there's like pinpoints on the map, and then that's it. Like there's nothing. I just don't like it. And this place is amazing. This is the end game. This is the end game to Infinity War. Like Ghostlands is such an amazing zone. It really is. You know, you've got to deal with the remnants of the Scourge. You've got Alliance that are trying to creep in, all these night elves. And the Scourge is such a massive threat. And by the end of it, obviously, like, you know, you've got the whole Dread Scar cut in between both zones. You know, this is where the Scourge walked up. Like, you know, they tore through the lands. And by the end, you've got like this little city that you've got to go conquer and like defeat. And, you know, that's where the traitor is that like gave all the, you know, secrets away. It is it is genuinely such a good zone. There's so many quests. You know, you have that sense of urgency. You've got, you know, you get to go through the mausoleum. You've got obviously the Amani trolls there as well that are a threat. And it is such a good zone. The atmosphere's good. It does reflect, like, you know, it's this dingy place that, you know, there's no hope. And you then come all along and you've got to try and find some. And it is one of them. Gilneas. Gilneas is probably by far the best starting zone, in my opinion. The quest line for Gilneas is fucking amazing as Alliance. For Horde, when you quest into Gilneas, it is still Silver Pine Forest technically. But Gilneas, like, you know, where you get to raise some of like the old captains, is good. But then after that, nothing has happened with Gilneas. If something else happened with I do believe they have something planned for Gilneas for the next expansion, the War Within. I think it's in the prelude. It is definitely going to go up into amazing if it turns back into a full zone. If it turns back into a full zone, absolutely fine. You know, it will be an amazing. It'll be the top favorite of mine. But apart from that, it has to stay great because after the questing experience, there's no real reason to go back. And there's a fucking city in it, like, you know, there's a capital city in it, and there's literally no reason to ever go back there because it's just a dead zone. Like, Gorgrons, it's just everything in Warlords Draenor. I think there's one good area in Warlords of Draenor, and it's not Gorgrond. Gorgrond's shocking. I hate the storyline, and I do like it how, depending on which, I don't know what it's called, like which power up you go with, you get a different story, and they can like meet in the middle. Like one goes down and then back up, and then the other one just goes straight up. But I don't really. No, there's not much going for Gorgrond. Grizzly Hills is a good place. Now, I know a lot of people might be mad about this because they're like, oh my god, but Grizzly Hills is amazing. Aesthetically, yes. Grizzly Hills is good. I don't like the questing experience there. I really don't. I just can't seem to quest there, and I don't know why. I just struggle to quest there. I just don't feel like it's a good questing area. You know, aesthetically, like all the aesthetics are there. You know, you've got the Broken World Tree, you've got the Worgens, Archmage Arugal there, you've got the Border Tizzle Drac. You know, it is a beautiful place. And the story and the soundtrack's amazing as well. But the questing holds it back for me. It really does. Because it just feels very out of place. Obviously, it shows the corruption from Yogg-Saron as kind of like a hidden shadow in the dark type thing. But you don't really notice that in game, I don't think, to my knowledge, either. Like, I think it does say it in a quest text somewhere, but I don't really. I'm gonna get bet up in the comment section for this one. I know that much. We're just gonna move along. Hellfire Peninsula. It is a great zone. You step through the dark portal for the first time ever, and you are greeted with just a pit lord, I think it is, and you kind of like got to like fly around him and then go to your base because you're like, nope, fuck this, I'm out. You've then got the path of, I believe it's called Path of Glory, I believe it is, and literally it's just skeletons of just dead Draenei leading up to the dark portal from like the Citadel. The Citadel itself is fucking amazing. You know, you've got 3 really good strong dungeons there and a raid to match. Even outside of it, like the pools of, oh fuck, what's it called? A pit lord's been killed, and there's just like bloody demon puddles everywhere of like demon blood. You know, it's, and you look up at the sky and you just see like different. You just don't see your normal sky that you used to. It's so aesthetically pleasing. It's a great area. It really is. Would I... No. Yeah. Go on then. No. Thinking about it, it is an amazing area. Properly thinking about it, because the questing experience is pretty good. It is a good introduction to a new area. You know what your threats are straight away. It's definitely the orcs. It's definitely all the demons that are still about, and that's what you're dealing with. The soundtrack is pretty damn decent. The atmosphere is fucking phenomenal. Let's make sure this is capturing right. Oh, nope, it's not now. Hang on. Oop. Oh, okay. Hang on. Sorry, I missed. There we go. Right. Yeah, go on then. Right then. Yeah, it is a good area. High Mountain. High Mountain is a great area, I think. It is aesthetically pleasing for a start. The soundtrack is phenomenal. The questing experience, although good, I believe could be better. Like, you do have the Hammer of Kaskaroth questing area that you've got to go do. It is by far probably one of the... No, actually. No, it's pretty weak, I'd say, compared to the others. I'd say it is one of the weakest ones, in my opinion. Because, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like there's a sense of urgency behind it. You know, you get to go to the cave where Naltharion was. Deathwing, if you guys don't know. But apart from that, there's not really that much going for it, in my opinion. Like, sorry to anybody that really likes High Mountain. Horseblad Foothills. For Horde, fucking amazing. For Alliance, not so great. Just, I don't really remember much from Cataclysm when it comes to Horseblad Foothills questing. Because I didn't really quest there. I tend to do the Barons instead. But for Cataclysm, it's such a good area. Like, it shows you how, even though the Forsaken are on your side, how they still are corrupting areas. You've got basically what's Alcatraz. You've then got South Shore that got fucking nuked with Plague. You've then got the Durnhold internment camp, which, has been overrun by elements. You've got all the Alliance from Alterac up on the hillside where you've got to go infiltrate. It's a really, really good area. It's aesthetically pleasing. You feel you feel very rewarding. in your questing experience there. And the fact that you actually get to be an NPC. You actually get to play as a fucking quest giver. That is one of the most funniest quest lines ever. Hinterlands. It's good. I like Hinterlands. It's not brilliant. The questing experience is very lackluster. There's barely any quests. But, you know, you've got these, like, two or three troll cities that you've got to... I know on one of them you've got to ascend all the way up for the mallet. No, sorry, no, the mallet's somewhere else. It's the egg. You got to go for the egg of Hakar. And then on the other one, you get the mallet of sulfuric. Oh, you did in retail, classic anyway. But it's just a quest. It's a question. It just holds it back so much. If there were more quests, it'd be great, if not amazing. But aesthetically pleasing, hits a nail on the head, whatever it's called. I forget that metaphor. Like, the aesthetics and the feel of the area is definitely amazing, but the quest and experience is all the way down here, so I'm going to put it in the middle. Howling Fjord. This is where people hurt me. I don't like it. I don't like the area. Like, for the alliance, it's decent in a sense. Like, you know, you've got Tyrion foraging that's in hiding, and then, you know, people keep dying, and he's like, fuck this, and then he's like, Arthas, I'm here, now I'm on Northrend, coming to get you. And then after that, that's it. That's it. You're just dealing with the same old, you know, oh, Vicryl, oh, dragon, okay. That's pretty much your entire story. Oh, get me some bear ass, I'm hungry. Like, it just feels lackluster. Like, it just doesn't feel like there's that sense of immediate urgency. Like, you know, you've just come onto this new island, it's a place of the Lich King, you've set up base. That's it. And after that, all the rest of the quest, you just don't feel like there's anything else there. And it's a pity. Because it is a nice place, but it's just no. It just doesn't butter my parsnips. This is where people now tell me never to rate again. It's going to be so bad. Mount Hyjal is phenomenal. They didn't do it justice in the raid, the Battle for Mount Hyjal, at all. But when they brought out Hyjal and you have the threat of the Druids of the Flame, you know, you got the threat of Ragnaros the Fire Lord. It is phenomenal area. You know, you have to summon all the wild gods back, Aviana, Goldrin, Ursoc. You know, you've got to go... You've got to, like, you know, you lose a dragon who turns into one of the fucking bosses in Firelands. It is such a great area. It's aesthetically pleasing. The soundtrack's awesome. The quest line. You actually feel more like... Because you push back Ragnaros, you don't defeat him in the questing experience, you defeat him in the raid. But because you lost a dragon, because you lost one of your friends, although yes, you feel like you've accomplished something, you still feel that loss. And you lose that dragon very early on. And, like, when I was leveling in Hyjal, you know, I instantly realised, oh shit, I've just, you know, my friend's just been turned into this firehawk. Oh no. And then, like, by the end of it, I'm still like, yeah, we won, but at what cost? You know? And it does feel like that throughout the entire zone, and it's fucking amazing. It's really good feel. Ice Crown, great. No. Yeah, no, great. The only reason why Ice Crown doesn't place higher is if you didn't have flying, you'd be fucked. You needed to have flying to traverse Ice Crown. Same with Storm Peaks as well. Like, if you didn't have flying, that was it. It was like, you are in for a rough time, buddy. Welcome to the Undead Zone. Which, although, yes, I do get that might should have been the feel to it, but, you know, you slowly push through the area. You got to remember, guys, as well, this isn't all about the raids either. This isn't like, you know, the Icon Citadel raid, otherwise it'd be, you know... I'll do the raids in another video. But no, like if you didn't have flying, that was it. It was like basically game over. Good luck trying to reverse this fucking place. Good luck. And this was like basically like every single week, I think every 2 weeks, a new storyline got added where you had to push further into Ice Crown, which then led into the Ice Crown Citadel raid. Um, but again, it just doesn't feel like majority of the quests. I believe you had to have a party for because they were just so fucking difficult. Like everything was like, oh yeah, you need 5 players for this. You're gonna need 5 players for this one. Okay, right, leave them 5 players. You can do 2 quests solo. Right, okay, get them 5 players back. It was just, it just. I get where they wanted to go, but I do feel like they maybe missed the nail on the head a little bit there, just slightly. It is a great zone, and if you do have flying, it's a fantastic zone. It's fucking amazing if you've got flying, but if you don't have flying, it does hold you back a lot. Isle of Thunder. This is probably the worst Mr. Pandaria zone ever. It holds a really decent raid, but the zone itself is awful because you basically have to. Oh my god! I need to. Hang on. Sorry about this. Yeep. You're gonna start seeing some of the ads soon, guys. I'm really sorry because I've got like ads because I don't have ad blocker. Sorry. Yeah, Isle of Thunder is probably the worst Mr. Pandaria zone ever. It just doesn't sit right. Like, you've got like this immediate threat of the Thunder King. Oh my god, we need to go to his place. We need to go defeat him. And then the Horde of the Alliance lock eyes and they're like, you know what? I fucking hate you. And it just seems so like, although yes, it does meet the story because that's what happened. Like with the Divine Bell incident, it just feels like it wasn't the time or the place, and it felt forced in the story. Apart from that, it was a good place. Really good. I need to lower this down a tiny bit. Yeah. Jade Forest. Jade Forest. Fucking amazing. If there was one place that had the best introductionary to a start in expansion, Jade Forest is there. Jade Forest ran so everybody else could walk. Like, it is such a good fucking zone, for both Horde and Alliance as well. Like, you've got the quest line of Anduin missing. You've then got the quest line of basically infiltrating the enemy's camps. The Sharp presence, the helping Yulion out. There's just so much, and it's given. It gave a lot of. It gave a lot of introductionary to all the different things in Pandaria. You've got the Jinyu. I'm trying to remember all the names now. The Hosen, the Jinyu and the Hosen. They're like the main 2 denizens, which you recruit as Horde of Alliance, depending. You've then obviously got the fact of Garrosh Hellscream. He wants a war. He wants to fight. He wants, he wants the land of Pandaria for himself. It is a really good feel. It is aesthetically pleasing. I think there is a spot in the cinematic for Mr. Pandaria in which you can actually visit in game, and it literally is reflective so much. Like, it's 100% reflective. Like, you can see the spot in game, and it looks the exact same. It's fucking amazing. The people that made the Jade Forest deserve a fucking pay rise. Kazan. No, right. The issue is with Kazan it is a phenomenal starting place for goblins. It really is. It does feel like this is where the goblins belong. The issue that I have with Kazan is it feels very, very quick for a starting zone. All of a sudden, you're this new goblin, you're trying to make the most money, you're trying to host a party, you're trying to not, I mean, that's the thing. according to the law, you try and overthrow Gallowix, but we don't care as a player character. Like, none of us know what's going on. We're just chilling. Like, we just made a new character. And, and then Deathwing just breaks out the world, and just for no fucking reason. And, the entire island is basically met with a volcano. All within 5 levels, bear in mind. It just feels so fucking quick. Like, if they made it for, like, level 10, then I could understand. Like, it would be better. Like, if they could stretch it out a little bit, so you could actually realise what were happening, it'd be better, but it really is probably one of the weak ones for the Horde. Karazhan Wilds. Decent. It's not brilliant. I never really leveled there. Like, I just went straight into the Valley of Fourwinds instead. It wasn't a place I wanted to go to. I have quested there, but it just wasn't memorable enough. I know there's like, I think there's like a quest or something. I'm not sure if it's Horde of Alliance either, but there is a quest where like someone becomes corrupted and his daughter tries to help him and his daughter dies or something, or his son dies. I don't really remember it, but it's not really memorable area as such. I know there's like the Frog Island, but there's not really much that Karazhan Wilds has to offer for Mr. Pandaria. It is one of the weaker ones. Apart from that, all I've got for that one. Krogan is awful. Like, all the Legion. I'm going to put McCree there as well. I don't even care. I'm going to skip a bit. The reason being is, you get told that Argus is a planet, and we literally get to go to one tiny-ass little fucking island. And there's just literally, like, that's not how you do it, boys. That's not how you do it at all. I really need to... I'm going to... I've just realised something, and I can't actually see... Like... Hang on. If I do it like that, can I go down now? Go back up a little bit. Go back up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I just don't like it. I just, you get told how fucking great, this fucking area is, how much of a threat it is, and you visit one tiny ass little island, and it's like, that's not how you do it, boys. Like, we've gone to another planet, and you've got basically one tiny little subsection split into 3 zones. And it just doesn't feel like Argus. It doesn't. Like, you don't feel like you're on another planet. You just feel like you're on another fucking area of your world. And it misses the mark totally. It really does. Couldn't lie on it. Great. 100% great. Such a good place. The Shower of Anger. Oh my god. And then you've got Mogashon Vaults. You have where the Divine Bellies. You've got the Temple of... Zhuan. You've got the origins of the Tauren. I think that's the first time you actually really meet the Yongle. You actually get to see the Tauren before they were Taurens. You've got the opening of the Veil of Eternal Blossom. It's such a good area, and it's so aesthetically pleasing. You've got all these mountains, you've got all these farmlands, you've got so much going on, and it is such a great experience, and the questing experience is really decent as well. Yeah, it is one of them that you go there, and there's you actually feel like you actually rewarded for doing stuff there. Like, yeah, you feel like a bit of pride and accomplishment when you've done there. Loch Madan. Just make sure this is right still. Yep, that's fine. Loch Madan's decent. The quest experience isn't too bad. I don't mind it. The soundtrack's really good. It is a really nice soundtrack. Apart from that, so it's really got, like, it's just decent. There's not much going on for me in there. Yeah, you'd expect to see more, but they could have done more and they didn't. Which is unfortunate. But I just don't feel like there's that. I don't know what you call it. The word's lost to me now. I've forgotten the word. But yeah, they could have done more with Lochmadan, but they didn't. Lost Isles has the exact same issue as Kazan, which too much happens too fucking quickly. You know, it's literally like you go there, you've abandoned, you've just met the Horde of the Alliance ships, you've just been shot out of the sea, you got to go rescue people. Oh look, monkeys are stealing the food. Oh look, there's Naga. Oh look, there's a chicken. Oh look, there's this. Oh look, there's a cave. Oh look, there's a turtle god. Oh look, he's dead. Oh look, volcano erupts again. Yeah, there's just so much going on in such a quick time, and you just don't have time to process what's actually going on. And it just now, Mechagon has the same feel to it, unfortunately. It doesn't feel like it just doesn't feel rewarding there. It really doesn't. Okay, I think I'm gonna actually have to go properly full screen here as well because I'm running out of room completely here. Hang on a second, boys. There we go. Right. It just doesn't feel rewarding. It really doesn't. Moonglade, it's such a beautiful zone. It really is so beautiful, but there's just no quests there. Like, unless you're a druid, there is no reason to go to Moonglade. There really isn't. And that's unfortunate, because it's such a beautiful zone. It really is. But that's literally all it is. It's just aesthetically pleasing. It was basically the turn around and went, how can we make the most aesthetically pleasing area with fuck all to do? Moonglade. Mulgar. Mulgar's good. I like Mulgar. It is one of them that, at the start you learn about the Quillbars, and then you kind of like just have to kind of like survive and try and like protect your land more than anything else. Like from the Venture Co, from the Dwarves, if it's classic, if it's not, it's Elementals. Then you got the rite of passage to be like an actual Tauren as well. It is really, really good. Outland Nagrand and Outland Draenor, both are fucking great. Like genuinely, this is the highest anything from Draenor will go. But it's basically just a replica. It really is. It's just a copy and paste. So they're both good. Obviously you've got the Ogre Empire in Draenor, which you don't have in the Outland. You've got the Twilight cultists, and the demons. But no, it's really, really good zone. They're both really good. They're aesthetically pleasing. You've got the Helmut Nissenworthy quest lines. You've got Thrall returning back to Outland on this one. You've got Thrall versus Garrosh in this one. It's such a nice. They're both really good zones. Really good. Najata, it's fucking awful. I'm sorry. They just are. Like, I don't like Mechagon on Agitar because it just doesn't feel like it fits the story. They don't feel like they fit the story at all. Like, I get where they wanted to go, but like it just doesn't, like, it's Battle for Azeroth and everything like that. It's Horde versus Alliance. Oh wait, there's Naga all of a sudden. Oh wait, there's Mechanims. What are you guys doing here? Who knows? Okay, we'll lock with you guys for a bit. It just doesn't feel like it. It just doesn't hit the mark at all. It feels very out of place. Nazmir, it's a terrible zone. Battle for Azeroth really did not hit the mark at all. Like, genuinely at all. It didn't hit the mark. Like, I don't think there was anything good in Battle for Azeroth. I really don't. Netherstorm. Netherstorm. Where are we putting you, Netherstorm? Netherstorm was good. We're going to have to zoom this out a bit now, I think. Yeah. Netherstorm was really good. It is very much chaotic in the terms of, if you look around, you see all these big machineries that the elves have built to harvest all the energies. You've then got to sabotage them all. You've then got the eco domes that are trying to protect the life. Yeah, it is a very aesthetically pleasing. Like, you go there and it's just purple and it's great. And it's also one of these areas that if you don't have flying yet, you're not totally hindered, but it would help. It's not like Ice Crown, which you are going to be hindered because you've got to walk through loads of undead. There are bridges everywhere in Nether Storm. You can just go across the bridge and you're fine. Um, yeah, that's basically Nether Storm's pretty good. I love Kael Danas. It's a great place. I do like it. Um, I'm having to keep checking on my thing, by the way, to make sure that this matches. Obviously, this doesn't, but it's fine. Um, yeah, I love Keldanas. Every single week there was like a new storyline to do, and it eventually led up to the raid, and they did it really well. There were loads of daily quests to do, and it was such a nice area. Like you obviously got like this was like with the peak where the Scourge were, and it feels like you do get the feeling of this is what the elves are trying to protect the entire time, and you can see why by the end of it. Like if you do the raid, especially, like the raid does lead into it. Um, but it doesn't. You do get to see like the top of the elves, the best of the best type thing. It's such an aesthetically pleasing zone. It's very well thought out. It's a really good area. Redridge Mountains, fucking amazing area. I love Redridge so much, especially in Cataclysm. Like Cataclysm's quest and experience in Redridge is fucking phenomenal. Like the atmosphere, you know, you do all these like little side tasks, and then you got to deal with the orcs, and then you rescue somebody who's part of like this massive fucking like A team. And literally, I think it's just like a massive A team reference at this point. Um, and then you basically take the fight to the orcs with like 5 people because you're the best of the best, and you actually do feel like it's a command and conquer sort of situation. You feel like you've actually done good, and it is one of them feelings that you've won, but at what cost by the end. And it is a really really good, really it's not even really good. It's phenomenal. It's a quest and experience. I love leveling in Resridge. It's such a nice area. Saving Gorge, it's fucking awful. I don't even care. It's fucking awful. Like there's nothing to do. There's no immediate threats. There's nothing. You just in this fucking barren area, and it's just fucking awful. Shadowmoon Valley Outlands is good only for one reason. It is the prelude. It's a lot like Eversong was to Ghostland. This is the first time you see Shadowmoon Valley in Outlands. You see the Black Temple, which used to be Calabar, the Draenei structure. You've got a camera on Maev. Sorry. You've got Terrangorn Feed quest line. You've got the Netherwing Drakes quest line. There's a lot to do, and it's a really good area. You do feel like you're making progression throughout. But Shadowmoon Valley in Draenor really hit the mark. The only reason why it's not higher up is because they didn't turn Calabar into an actual fucking city. It was like, okay, we've got to defend the Draenor. Like, because if you guys don't know the timeline, you basically go back in time, essentially to an alternate time period, and you stop the Horde from actually ever taking over the areas. But no, you rescue the Draenei's area of Calabar, and it's so aesthetically pleasing. It's so beautiful. Like, and I mean, that is genuinely the best reaction I can give it. It is a beautiful zone. You've got your garrison there. You've got to go explore. You've got to go stop all these people. You've got all these quests. And, the only reason why, if they made Calabar a city, it would be an amazing 100%. If it actually did what they promised it were going to do, it'd be up there. It would be amazing. But just hit the mark. Sholazar Basin, it's good. It's not great. It's not decent. It's just good. It's one of them areas in which you don't know why it's there. It doesn't fit with the story. Like, you've got the Lich King there, who's this Lord of the Dead and everything like that. And again, you're in this massive grassy terrain. It's sort of a lot like Ferolas, which he just doesn't belong in this area. And I get the fact that like, you got these Titan Keepers, and they're trying to protect the lands and everything like that. You got Freya, and she's trying to basically protect the lands, but it just doesn't really fit the narrative as such. I feel like if it was a lot like Eversong Woods or Ghostlands, where you actually see the Scourge tear through the lands a little bit more than what they have, because I think it's just like a little avalanche area, and that's it. That's all you've got to do with a Scourge. And if they were to do it like how Ghostlands and Eversong Woods did, in which you actually see the Scourge encroach like halfway through the map, it'd be a lot better. But nothing ever good has come from Silithus, and that is right. It is a fucking god awful zone. I fucking hate Silithus with a passion. Fuck Silithus. We're not even going to talk about it. What sword? Silver Pine Forest. It's an amazing, absolutely amazing questline. The feel to the area, the atmosphere, the quest line is just phenomenal. It really is. It's one of them that you actually really do fucking. I just can't describe it. I just don't want to describe it because I want you guys to play it. But it is genuinely one of the best storylines ever made in Blizzard, as far as I'm concerned. Spires of Iraq. It's fucking awful. I hate Spires of Iraq. Because Spires of Iraq is the area at the point in World of Draenor where everybody has switched gear. Now, there's nobody in Mythic Raiding gear anymore from the previous expansion. You've all switched out from Spires to Spires of Iraq. And things hit a lot fucking hard there. Like, leveling up in Spires of Iraq was fucking brutal. Like, the quest line, I get it. Like, you're dealing with the Avakoa, you're helping them out. You're trying to stop the curse of Skethis, I think it is. Or is it Teeth? It's one of them. You're trying to help that out, but it just doesn't feel like... It just doesn't... I don't know. It misses the mark totally, and it's a rough area to fucking level up in. It really is. Stone Talon Mountain. Fucking amazing. Horde and Alliance, especially in Cataclysm. It is such a good storyline for both sides. It is so fucking gorgeous. Really is. Really fucking beautiful area. Storm Peaks is great. It suffers with the same thing as Icecrown, which is if you can't fly, tough shit. And that is the thing that holds it back. Obviously, you've got Ulduar the raid, which, again, if it was a raid, it'd be a lot higher. If we were just doing just raids, it'd be a lot higher, which I do plan to do, by the way. But this is just... It is one of them. You get to meet all your Titan Keepers, you get to meet the Frost Giants and shit. It is a really good area, but it's just missing the mark, because if you don't have something, it's not friendly to you. And... It's alright saying that, like, people are like, oh yeah, but that, like, separates the people on the player base, but at the end of the day, when it's a cost of gold that's tied to it, a currency, it's not great. Like, if it was something like gear, which people can work towards in a timely manner, it's great, but this incentivizes you to basically go out and basically get money. And it just doesn't really... That's not what World of Warcraft has ever been about. But... Stormheim... No, I like Stormheim, yeah. Stormheim's questing experience is probably one of the top end of the Legion ones, getting to meet Odin, getting to meet Godkin Skullvold, helping the dragons out. Oh god, I'm trying to remember what all the different fucking storylines there were. It is aesthetically pleasing, doing all the different trials and everything like that. Going into Helheim, with Helios, see the hunt for Sylvanas. It is really nice. It is absolutely beautiful. It is one of the best areas. Stormsong Valley, exact same reason. The farming area that you can make your own little Farmville area. But it's amazing. The Brew Ridge and Storms now. You've got the Manted slowly approaching across the border. It is one of them that is aesthetically pleasing. And then you obviously have the best friend system that was introduced. The friend system, which was kind of like the new reputation that they did for the one area. It is actually really nice. And I do like it. It was a fresh take, and it was something really decent. Stranglethorn Vale. I think Stranglethorn goes there. Yeah. Does it go though? Does it go higher? No, we're gonna put it higher. We're gonna put it at amazing. I just need to have a look at my thing because that's now moved up a bit. Let's zoom out a bit more. There we go. You know, in Classic, it was basically the first time Hard Met Alliance was majority in Stranglethorn Vale. It was a very, very, very rough area to level up in, especially on PvP zones. Helmet Nissen, where his camp was amazing. You have the troll, like, you know, you're level 30 and you see this troll architecture and you're like, oh, I wonder what that is. And then all of a sudden a level 60 elite spawns in, respawns in and just absolutely wails on you and just absolutely owns you and you've got no idea why he's there. And you realise that's the troll city of Zul'Gurub. In Cataclysm, it is the exact same thing. It really is. I've just realised something. Hang on. I've got Stormsong Valley and Valley of the Four Winds. Which one's Stormsong Valley? There weren't two zones, were there? I thought they were the same. I might have got something mixed up here. Which one's Stormsong Valley? I'm going to have to Google this. Hang on, I'm going to Google this on my phone. So which one are we up to? So yeah, Stranglethorn Vale, even in Cataclysm, like, it was a really good... Which one's Stormsong Valley? Oh, that's the Cultivis one. Oh, ew, no, go down there. Ew. That was my bad, guys. Sorry, I got the wrong areas mixed up. I was just looking at the background of the maps. That was my bad, sorry. Yeah, no, Stormsong Vale is fucking god-awful. It's because there's this one, and then there's Valley of Four Winds, and they sort of looked a bit alike with, like, the Pandaren texture. But yeah. Stranglethorn Vale. Yeah, even in Cataclysm, where you get like the little raptor hatchling, and you've got to basically feed him and help him, and then a troll takes him away, and you realise that it was actually part of like an original mount that was back in vanilla, and then you basically take control of him and try and like make him escape Zul'Gurub. Yeah, there's just so many good question lines there. The feel to the zone's amazing, you know, the aesthetics, and it's always I think Stranglethorn Vale does hold a spot in many people's hearts. Silvermar, fucking amazing. Silvermar is a definition of, can a city be a zone? Like, it took Gilneas as the ball and Silvermar as the bat, and it just knocked it out the fucking park. Silvermar is such a beautiful zone, and the only thing about Silvermar that I can say, if you didn't have a strong enough computer, you'd fucking know about it. Like, Silvermar was so dense with just architecture and so many NPCs, you actually felt like you were in the city, like cleaving through all the people, all the enemies. It felt very, very reminiscent of Stratholme, where you play South and you just cleave through the city. But it's such a good area. It really is. It's so fucking beautiful and amazing, and I just can never say anything bad about Silvermar. Swamp of Sorrows, shit. It's bad. I'm sorry, it is. The only saving grace is what's it called? What's the dungeon called? Sunken Temple. You know, it is the only saving grace where, you know, you walk up and you've got this massive lake and there's just a temple in the middle, and you wonder what's there. When you go inside, it's just a maze. It's so fucking cool, and it is literally the saving grace of why it's not in awful. Talador. Oh, PC, please work. Oh. We'll be right back. And we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Don't know what happened there. Okay. Tolador. Tolador's awful. Anything like Warlords of Draenor is just fucking awful in general. Like Warlords of Draenor and Battle for Azeroth, they just none of them really hit the mark. Saying that, the next one's interesting. Tanan Jungle is decent. Now, Tanan Jungle walked so Broken Shore could run. And they did. Like, Tanan Jungle, you go there, and that's where you first get introduced to the Horde. You know, you step through the Dark Portal for the second time. You get put into Tanan Jungle, and you realise that you're no match for the Horde, and you've got to leave, and then come back later on. That was so Broken Shore could run, and it did. It was very, very reminiscent of, you're not ready for this area, fuck off, please. Apart from that, that is literally its only saving grace. Like, when you go back, it's just awful. Like, you've got the Hellfire Citadel raid, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't feel, there's not much of a feel to it, which is the issue. Tanaris, it's a bad zone to level up in. It really is. Like, you've got the Dungeon Sulfurak, which is probably one of the best ones, but you just don't really feel like there's much there. Like, there is like the odd hidden bits, like, you know, the caravan that travels that like loses people as it goes along, but it just feels meh. It doesn't feel great. Teldrassil, it's great. I like Teldrassil. It is a Night Elf starting zone. It is one of them in which you basically just start off as a young elf and young adventurer, and then you go to your second zone and you meet this Sehitter who's like, oh, please help me. Actually, you go help him, and then you find out you've actually done wrong. It's one of them quest lines again. Just the feel to it, and I do miss Teldrassil a lot. Like, I'm really upset that it burned, even though I do main hard. Like, it is a nice area. It's so beautiful as well. Like, I can appreciate Teldrassil, even though like the questing makes no sense to me sometimes. Like, I don't really like pay attention that much to certain questing zones because I've already done them that many times. I'm just accepting and going for it. But no, Teldrassil is a really, really nice zone. Terakar Forest, it's bad. Like, to the borderlines of it being awful. Like, the only saving grace is Akandun. Is, you know, you're in this forest and then it opens up into this, like, just this wasteland, which is a massive graveyard for the Draenei, and, like, you've got this whole Colosseum surrounding it, and it's just a massive graveyard, and it's just depressing, and it just doesn't really feel. And you've got the other side, in the forest, you've got Stratath, which is this light infused area, and you're like, like, it just doesn't match the feel. It really doesn't. The Barrens, we all know where Barrens is going. It's an amazing zone. We all love the Barrens. Everyone loves the Barrens. Even Barrens Chat was amazing. That's why it was called Barrens Chat. You know, it is just such a good zone. It is an amazing secondary zone. It hits a nail on the head. It really does. The questing is not, I wouldn't say it's lackluster, you know. Obviously people are trying to figure out why the Barons are not sustaining life. You've then got the Druids there as well. You've got the Apothecary people. You've then got the Centaurs to deal with. You've then got the Pirates to deal with. You know, you've got a lot to do there. And the Barons is really good. Plus the Quillborn in the Southern Barons as well. It's such a good zone. It really is. The feel to it's nice. The soundtrack's nice. The quest experience is nice. It's steady. And it's one of them that, you know, you spend a lot of time in the Barons. Oh, you did. In Cataclysm, you don't really anymore, but you did then. Timeless Isle. Ooh. You know, I like the Timeless Isle. To say, you know, it was just this random little island that appeared out of nowhere. There's bronze dragons everywhere. It's where Rathian is. You've got the 4 Celestials that you get to fight. And there's just a lot of activities to do. You just run around and find treasure the entire time. And that's it. That's pretty much it. There's not much as far as questing goes. It's one of them that, you know, if you explore, you get rewards. and they did really well with it. It didn't really. What I say? It matched the narrative. It helped the storyline to obviously move into Alta Trainer. But I think that's the only reason why it was brought in, was because there was no prelude to Incentive, because this was after the Throne of Thunder, and there was nothing in between Throne of Thunder and the Timeless Isles to say the Timeless Isles was coming in game. Just the next patch rolled around and it's like, oh, new island, let's go visit. But it was basically the reason as to why we got to then teleport through time to Walter Draenor, which was the only reason why. But it was a nice zone, really nice. Tourist Guard Sound, Battle for Azeroth. Sorry, mate. No, I don't like it. I really, really disagree with Battle for Azeroth. Like, there was never any really good zone that stood out to me, and there really wasn't. Like, I just no. Sorry, to you all. No. Tirisfal Glade is by far probably one of the best leveling zones out there. You've got the threat of the Worgen, which then moves you into Silverpine Forest. You're a brand new undead character. You've got the Lillian Forest. You've got the Scarlet Crusade. It's just an eerie place, and you're just trying to defend. You're just trying to live, like, even though you're undead. And it is one of them areas that you look and you think, yeah, this is all right. I could take this. It's just, there's not much going on in terms of, like, it basically, whereas, like, the humans would turn around and say, like, with Elwyn Forest, the Gnolls and Murlocs, these are the majority of the denizens. You don't really get that in Tirisfal Glades. You either have Murlocs and there are Gnolls, but they're not the immediate threat. It's all about the Scarlet Crusade. And, you've got to do the little background things in between. Sorry. I'm dying. Help me. Sorry about that. Right, we're good. Yeah, it's one of them areas in which, you've got other little people like the Murlocs and the Gnolls, but, there is a bigger threat along the horizon, and, it's always looming. And it's such a good introductionary campaign. It really is. Tol Barad, no. Okay, Tol Barad's basically an island, which was split into two parts. One part was, like, PvE, and the other half was PvP, and it was like a full-on. So, like, you got two islands. One's basically where you get to fight computers and do daily quests whilst waiting for the PvP side to open, and you'd have, like, a massive area to fight in, basically. And now, it didn't. Like, I think it was in Cataclysm it was introduced, and it's just why. Like, I understand the fact that they want a more open world PvP and everything like that, but no, it wasn't the way. It really wasn't. It suffered the same thing as Ashran did. Well, I mean, it suffered it first. Tarlong Steps, as much as Mr. Pandaria, I don't like it. I don't like the area. You've got the Yongle, you've got the Mantid, you've got the Ox Place. I can't pronounce his name, I'm never going to attempt it. But no, I just don't. I don't know, I just didn't like the area. It's aesthetically pleasing and it's nice, but it's all it's got for it. It's not a saving grace, unfortunately. I wouldn't even say the questline's decent either. You just don't know. No, I just didn't know why I was there. Like the Dreadways, which is the next area, you know why you're there. The place before. Couldn't lie on it. You know why you're there. Town Long Steps, I didn't really understand the storyline. There was a lot going on. And I just... No. Not really. Twilight Highlands. For Cataclysm, it was really bad. Like, you got Grim Batol, and you've got the Twilight dungeon, raid, whatever it's called. I forgot what it's called. But no, I just didn't like the Twilight Highlands at all. Like, You got there, and it was like, oh no, dragons, oh no, all gods, oh no, Twilight Highlands, oh no, dragons. And you're like, there's just so much going on in between everything. And in between all that, you've then got to get bear asses and berries to help your fucking town. And you're like, doesn't really match. Like, I get the fact that it matched the story of Cataclysm, and the Twilight cultists who were trying to bring out the end of the world. You've got the Old Gods trying to help them, you've got Deathwing. But in a zone where you have All God influence, the Twilight cultists, and Deathwing, and yet somehow we still win with nothing other than one red dragon who just basically tussles with him a little bit and then tells him to fuck off. Yeah, it just doesn't. And but to kill him, we needed all five aspects. Like, it just doesn't seem like it just doesn't seem right. It just doesn't seem at all like there were so many power plays. It didn't make sense how we won them all in such a quick concession. A quick concession consistency. One of them, succession. Yeah, succession is the right word. Alderman. Now, right. Alderman is right. Okay. Where am I putting Alderman? Alderman's decent, in a sense. It's between decent and bad. I can't really put it anywhere else because it is literally cutscene central. You do a quest, it's a cutscene. Do two quests, it's a cutscene. You do another quest, here's a cutscene. And that's literally all it is. And it's a massive Indiana Jones reference. You've got the Valley of the Four Winds in the background. You've got the Tolvia. You've got the Machines of Origin and everything like that. You've got all these different little things going on. And, aesthetically, it's very pleasing. Like, it's such a beautiful area. Like, you've got all these pyramids, house, Titan machinery that can end the world. You've got the Vortex Pinnacle, you've got the Skywall and Vortex Pinnacle up in the air. It's just the fact that after every fucking quest, there was a fucking cutscene. It was cutscene central. And, I think even to this day, if you wanted to do the quest line of Oldham, if you don't skip the cutscenes, you're probably going to get at least 2 hours worth of content out of it. But there's not really... Like, it's aesthetically pleasing, which is why it's so high. It is a beautiful area. But apart from that, the quest line really does hold it back. Ungoro Crater is decent. Again, it has the same thing as Sholazar Basin, where it just feels out of place. Sholazar Basin, Thousand Needles, Desert, Tanavis, Desert, Silithus, Desert, Uldaman, Desert, slap bang in the middle, a crater full of life. And it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't fit. It just doesn't belong. I get the fact that the Titans did want like certain areas to have like to be housed with like things, but it's like a Jurassic Park. Basically, there's dinosaurs everywhere. There's crystals everywhere. There's like little fucking sprout things that you've got to collect. It just doesn't. No, it just doesn't sit well. It just seems very out of place as an area. It's beautiful to look at, and it's really nice to see all the different dinosaurs. But it just doesn't make sense. I don't think Ungoro Crater should be there. I think Ungoro Crater should be like where Hyjal is and everywhere up there. So you've got life on one end, and then you go slowly down, it turns more into a desert as you go down. Vale of Eternal Blossom, beautiful area. Absolutely beautiful area. The questing experience there, not too bad. Garrosh destroyed it, made it a little bit better. Obviously, it does house Siege of Orgrimmar raid. But no, like, you do feel like, you've obviously got the Mantid on the wall, breaking through. it is a beautiful area, and it is really nice, and the soundtrack as well is also really nice. Valley of Four Winds, fucking great. I love the Valley of Four Winds. I need to make sure this is right. Yeah, that's fine. I need to zoom out a bit more. I'm really sorry about this, guys. I didn't think it'd be this this big. Um, yeah, Valley of Four Winds. I've already explained it earlier on when I thought it was Storm Song Valley. Um, but it's yeah, it is a really good zone. It's beautiful. Obviously, got all these different things going on, and I've already explained it once, so I'm not going to explain it again. Val Shiva, absolutely amazing. One of the best Legion zones, 100%, without a doubt. The fact that you go in there and it's all about the druids, and you've got all these ghostly night elves that are being corrupted, and then you've got Xavier as the Nightmare Lord that's slowly corrupting the area, and then you've got to call upon Ysara, the dragon aspect, and she gets corrupted, and you've got to kill her. Like, it is such a nice zone, and it is one of them at what cost zones did we win? And you actually, like, the cinematic for it is fucking heart wrenching to see Ysara dying, be turned into a constellation, get sent over to the Shadowlands. It's not only get sent over to the Shadowlands, but by Elune herself. Like, she basically turned around and she was like, yeah, no, she's going to Adamwield. Fuck all of you and your judgment. Like, I don't care. This is the one that's going to cause a better controversy here, and I'm really sorry to you all. Vashi is great. It is one of a kind, and you can't argue with that. It is the only underwater area. If you have a fear of water, it's not a great place to go. But it is by far one of the most. It is good for how bad it is. It's great for how bad like the zone itself, like it was all about Naga. You had the great white shark in the distance, the patrolling boss of the zone. You got to go straight into the depths of the ocean, and it was one of them, like, if you were a kid, like, I mean, I was like this, I don't know if anybody else was, but if you were a kid and you were going into like the swimming baths or whatever, and you just think randomly a tentacle would like come out, grab you, and like pull you in, this is what Vashia gives you the entire time you're there. It is horror inducing, like, if you don't like water like me, and it is great because of it. It really is. It is one of them factors that, yeah, I don't level there anymore, but it is one of them that I do think is a great zone because of how bad it was actually done, because it's one of a kind. There's no other zone like it. There's no gnolls, there's loads of, obviously there's murlocs because they can swim, but like all the threats that you've dealt with in previous zones, they're not here because they don't swim. Like, the only one that's the like, you've got Old Gods and you've got Naga and, the odd Twilight cultist that's somehow breached it. But apart from that, like, it is such a fucking good zone. Like, in terms of, like, water combat as well, like, it's not great, because I know people don't like water combat, but I think they did really well with Vashir. I don't care what anybody says. Screw you all. Voldoon, no. Like, I just don't. The only good part about Voldoon was the lightning and lizard area, where you basically find out the fact that people are harnessing the energies instead of actually helping. It's just a poor area. It's awful. Like, apparently it's a place where exiles get sent to, and you do feel very exiled when you go there. So it has hit that on the, it has hit that mark. But no, no. Wandering Isles is decent. I wouldn't say it's great. Like, it's Mr. Pandaria starting in the Panda's starting zone. You want a turtle. Obviously, there's Horde and Alliance, and you get to choose which side you want to go on to. It's not brilliant. It's not great. It's just one of them areas. It's meh. Fair enough. Westfall, fucking amazing. I love Westfall so much. The whole Cataclysm, especially the murder mystery quest line, was fucking amazing. Like, it was leveling up in Cataclysm for the first time, doing Westfall. and you actually realise it's Vanessa Van Cleef. It's just such a twist. It's great. And I just love Westfall to absolute pieces. It's such a good zone. Even in Classic, it's such a great zone. Wetlands, no. Wetlands is bad. I don't like the wetlands. No one likes the wetlands. Like, it's not really a place you want to go to. It's not really a fucking... Like, if I was to talk to most people, I don't think wetlands actually hits most people's list of the best zones. I really don't. It's just me. It's one of them. It exists. Sorry. Wintergrasp, that is how you do a PvP zone. It's amazing. I don't care. Wintergrasp is fucking amazing. As far as like quests go, I don't think there was any outside of doing like the PvP objectives. But you know, this is where you would go to do all your farming for like your Saronite ores, your elemental essences. It'd be the place to go, and you know, doing the PvP as well is fucking awesome. Like, I love Wintergrasp to pieces. Winterspring, it's decent. I like Winterspring. It's aesthetically pleasing. The quest lines, meh, it's alright. The Furbolgs, the Blue Dragons, that's pretty much it. They're the only memorable ones. It's very aesthetically pleasing. It's very nice. It's such a different take. It is out of place in a sense because, you know, you've got Hyjal, which is this massive mountain on a world tree, and then all of a sudden you've got this bit low down that's just full of snow for no reason. And I don't know if that's because it's close. It could be because it's closer to Northrend, actually. Maybe, but it is very nice. It is a nice area. It is very, especially in Classic, it's very in-gamey. But, yeah. Western Plaguelands. It's good. I like it. It's a decent zone. The quest lines are pretty damn good. You know, seeing to all the different farms. Actually, no, I'm going to put it at great because in Cataclysm, the Battle for Underhall is such a good fucking thing. Like, honestly, like, you go there, there's Hardened Alliance and Scourge. The Hardened Alliance beat the Scourge and then they turn on each other. And then the Hardened Alliance are at it. And then you got to help each other. And there's just such a good twist at the end. Again, this is a twist I'm not going to ruin. Play it. It's great. Zangramash. I like it. I really do like Zangramash. It is very, very well done in terms of how you step through the Dark Portal, you go into the Hellfire Peninsula, and it's just orcs, it's Felbars, it's demons, and you go into Zangramash, and it's the total polar opposite. It's mushrooms bigger than anything you've ever seen before, and it does feel so otherworldly. It is amazing. Like, you know, you've got all these different bugs, all these different creatures, you know, like the marsh walkers and everything like that. It was just such a good area. It really was, you know. Sproggan, was it? Was that the race that was there? Of the little people? The little mushroom people? I want to say it was. I think that's her name. Helping all them out as well. It was a really good thing. Zuldrak, pretty good. No, just decent. It was alright. It was good. There wasn't really much in terms of memorable moments for me in Zuldrak. Obviously you've got, I think his name's Thrim, the big flesh giant that walks around and patrols the area. Apart from that, there's not really that much left for Zuldrak as far as memorable moments. And the issue you've got with Zuldazar, the reason why it goes into awful, is you have this great big capital city of the Trolls slap bang in the middle. But the thing is it's not just the middle, it also extends all the way down the middle of the zone as well. So it's from the middle and it goes down. So all of a sudden, maybe like even, I'd say like half of the fucking zone is the city. And they try and do all the question objectives around the border. And there's just so much going on. It's so messy. Plus you've also got a capital city right next to you. no, it's just so clumped up, and it's just absolutely not. But that is my zone tier list. If you guys did enjoy that, please let me know. I do understand the fact that obviously a lot of people are going to disagree with a lot of the stuff I say. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are about the different zones, and we can try and talk about it. Maybe I've maybe judged something a bit too harshly, but this is how I've interpreted it, all from my experience in all the different zones. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.